There are very few actual movie stars still left out there today. One of them, of course, would be Tom Cruise. Maybe there's a couple others, and one of those would be Johnny Depp. That's right, the MeToo punching bag, or crash test dummy, as he likes to say, did a recent interview that I think is going to be intriguing to go through. There's a lot to it and a lot of experiences that I think he would prefer not to have done, but is better for it, and he says as much in this particular set of articles. So, here we go. Now, before we get started, just a quick reminder, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. If this is your first time or your 1000th, you're not going to want to miss all of the information and entertainment that I provide on a weekly basis. Sometimes you get up to 3 videos a day, sometimes just 1, but you always, almost always, except for Sundays, get a live stream at the very least. We've got so much coming up over the course of the next week, and I have an extra special film to review about a month early that you're going to want to stay tuned into the channel for, because I think it's going to help people make a decision about whether or not to spend the extra bucks to go see it in a premium large format screen. We'll set all that aside, talk a little bit about today's story. Johnny Depp over on Deadline saying he has no regrets about Amber Heard trial and was a crash test dummy for Me Too. And truer words may not ever have been spoken. This story from Natalie's not really the one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something a little more fun over here on the world of Real, because Jordan wrote something that I think is straight to the point and will save us all some valuable time. Now, Johnny Depp has resurfaced in a lengthy new interview with the Sunday Times. It's the first major sit-down that he's given to any publication in years, and I think it was for a purpose. He's coming back to Hollywood, and he's doing it in a big way. He's been reflecting on the fallout from the Amber Heard saga, and Depp now calls himself a crash test dummy for #MeToo. The comment is a direct reference to the accusations first made by Heard back in 2016, nearly a decade ago, when she claimed that Depp was physically abusive during their short-lived marriage, and all of the evidence pointed to the contrary. Those allegations exploded into 2 major court cases in years of tabloid chaos, and I have to tell you, in the case of modern law, the Brits are getting it wrong every single time and taking advantage of and finding at fault the victims. Johnny Depp was no exception. The first legal battle kicked off in 2018 when Depp sued The Sun for libel after the paper branded him a wife beater. That UK trial, held in 2020, ended with a judge siding with the tabloid, declaring the label substantially true, which absolutely, as we would find later, was false. Soon after, Warner Bros. Asked Depp to step down from its Fantastic Beasts franchise, and the franchise itself took an imminent plunge into the depths of hell. Not a good box office there, and you know what? That film was poorly received because of all the adult political garbage that it was infested with, not just because they changed actors. And yet, I still seem to think that having Depp here would have won the day regardless, or at least earned the film more money. The second trial, of course, was far more theatrical, and we all got to witness it in real time. It unfolded in Virginia in 2022, and Depp, deemed persona non grata in Hollywood, filed a defamation suit against Heard over a Washington Post op-ed where she called herself a figure representing domestic abuse. In the end, the jury sided with Depp, finding that Heard did defame him quite a bit, if you want to be exactly accurate about it. And the actor would go on to state that the jury gave me my life back. And ultimately, they did. I was one of the people that was watching that trial, as anybody in my position would be. This was a talking point each and every day on the platform that I'm most dominant on, YouTube, and there were updates everywhere on social media, including on X. But in that conversation with the Sunday Times, he says this: "Look, it had gone far enough. I knew I'd have to semi-eviscerate myself. Everyone was saying it'll go away, but I can't trust that. What will go away? The fiction pawned around the freaking globe? No, it won't. If I don't try to represent the truth, it will be like I've actually committed the acts I'm accused of. Obviously, that made him very upset. And my kids will have to live with it. Their kids, kids that I've met in hospitals. So the night before the trial in Virginia, I didn't feel nervous. If I don't have to memorize lines, if you're just speaking the truth, roll the dice. And you know what? That was one of the best gambles he ever made. Depp also said he got through all the hit pieces, the bologna sausage, that came with the media storm. I think Amber Heard did not do as well. Look, none of this was going to be easy, but I didn't care. I thought I will fight until the bitter freaking end. And if I end up pumping gas, that's all right. I've done that before. And you know what? Depp is one of those self-made actors out there, starting from the very bottom in a little show on a brand new network called 21 Jump Street, and made a life and career for himself that I think other actors and actresses would envy. And in the trial itself, he acquitted himself well, leaving the entire courtroom to question how anybody could have thought that he committed any acts so heinous as the ones he was accused of. But then again, Amber Heard, a self-anointed narcissist, can be very convincing, just apparently not in movies. Since 2018, Depp had been relegated in starring in low-budget films such as The Professor, City of Lies, Waiting for the Barbarians, and Minamata. Depp's most recent project, Modi, which he directed and world premiered at the San Sebastian Film Festival last year, will likely not find U.S. distribution anytime soon, but the people who saw the film raved about it. Now, just a few years removed from the courtroom circus, Depp seems to be slowly clawing his way back into the Hollywood machine. He's set to reunite with Blow co-star Penelope Cruz in Lionsgate's Daydrinker, a dark drama due out in 2026. And as far as I know, I think that was done shooting a long time ago. Tim Burton has vowed to work with him again. He's also been heavily rumored to return as Jack Sparrow in the next Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think that's the only way that film gets made. Or I think it's the only way that the Pirates franchise can continue. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. As a huge fan of Johnny Depp from the very beginning of his career, I can say that he has grown as an actor and as a person. The experiences here of false accusations were probably one of the most trying times in his life, and yet he approached it with a sense of grace and a commitment to clear his good name. I'm glad to see that he was able to defeat these ideas and these charges, and a woman who was able to destroy the Snyderverse in one foul blow. If somehow we end up with a new Pirates movie, I'll be grateful, and I'll go see it, despite the poor performance of some of the more recent entries into the franchise. I think had he lost, the Pirates franchise would have ended on a female-centered pirate film that was supposed to be showing up right about now. And if they do eventually make the Margot Robbie entry, I don't think it will do as well as one with Jack Sparrow. And with that, I'm done. So, what do you think? It's audience participation time. Do you think that we'll see Jack Sparrow once again on a wild adventure that is both serious and ridiculous at the same time? Or do you think we'll see him in a Tim Burton adventure before that? Warner Brothers or Disney? I wonder which he has more frustration with. Let me know your thoughts on this article and, of course, the two questions that I've asked, and hopefully I can get back to you in the comments, as this is a subject I think is important to cover. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya, Culturians! Maybe at a Pirates movie?